Shantanu Guharay, Zinger News, India. Thank you for your inquiries. What is the United States of Kailasa? Can you explain its location, its total population, and a sample copy of the passports issued by your government?
Mr. Guharay, Kailasa is a revival of the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation operating through a group of NGOs in multiple countries across the world. It was established much in the spirit of a country like the Sovereign Order of Malta, a borderless service-oriented nation. Kailasa has more than 7 million e-passport applications. E-citizenship of the United States of Kailasa is open to all born, practicing and aspiring Hindus worldwide who will receive an e-citizen ID upon successful application. This ID will enable you to access various free humanitarian and spiritual services offered by Kailasa. There are millions of Hindus, including those in India, who have signed up and benefited from our e-citizenship service. You can sign up to be an e-citizen from the link provided below.
What is your constitution? What is your economic system? What is the color of your flag? And who is the director of the Reserve Bank of Kailasa?
Kailasa stands for all great values of ancient Hindu enlightened civilization enshrined in the constitution of Kailasa. The Vedas and the Agamas are the constitution of Kailasa. The Bhagavad Gita is the preamble to the constitution of Kailasa. Dharma Shastras are the jurisprudence of Kailasa. Kailasa's flag is hoisted and its national anthem is played during Kailasa's traditional and official gatherings. More about the significance of the national flag of Kailasa can be found in the link provided.
Under which laws was this nation, United States Kailasa, set up, and when?
The Vedas and the Agamas are the constitution of Kailasa, and the Bhagavad Gita is the preamble to the constitution of Kailasa, and the Dharma Shastras are the jurisprudence of Kailasa. It is governed by the Sovereign Order of Kailasa, the continuation of the oldest governing body for Hinduism. This order is inclusive of people from all walks of life and provides various options to living and radiating enlightenment for all individuals beyond age, marital status, race, color, or any other background and belief system. The order is organized through a consortium of multiple micronations, educational institutions, including Hindu universities and schools, Gurukul, the spiritual embassies, temples, temple monastery complexes, nunneries, food banks or Annadan, Annamandir, animal shelters, Goshala, libraries, Annalaya, Jnanalaya and organic agriculture. Kailasa's vision and mission is enlightened living for all of humanity, which is rooted in the fundamental principle of Advaita or oneness, through which global peace can be achieved.
What does Swami Nithyananda have to say against charges of sexual harassment leveled against him? Under the Indian law, isn't he then a fugitive who should return to India and face trial?
The allegations are false. The same false victims filed the same false charges in the US, but the US courts exonerated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, dismissed the case in favor of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and in turn fined the false victims to a tune of nearly $1 million. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was proven innocent by the California USA Court on April 8, 2013, and the Ohio Federal Court on August 12, 2014. The courts ruled in favor of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and fined the false victims nearly $1 million in fine. This is also recognized by Mr. Jeffrey Robertson QC, stating, quote, both A and B's claims against PN were dismissed in US cases with cost and in A's case with damages. Further evidence emerged in the US proceedings to show that the allegations were false, unquote. Many prominent human rights advocates have given independent reports and legal opinions attesting this. Among them is world-renowned King's Counsel from the UK, Mr. Jeffrey Robertson. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not a fugitive. There is no notice issued by Interpol for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Interpol has rejected any request to issue any notices for him based on evidence that was provided to them. The world-renowned human rights advocate and King's Counsel from the UK, Mr. Jeffrey Robertson, after thorough investigation, says in this report about the persecution that, quote, he did not jump bail but was out on bail when he left India as he was entitled to, and has remained abroad in order to seek asylum because he claims a well-founded fear of persecution, unquote. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is a persecuted individual whose basic rights were denied. In 2018, the passport authorities did not renew the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism passport, even though he is a born Indian citizen and Indian court ordered them to do so. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism even appeared in person and submitted the required documents to renew his passport. Further, innumerable attempts were made on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's life. For all these reasons, he was moved to a safe place by his disciples and followers.
What is the current designation of Swami Nithyananda in the United States of Kailasa? He calls himself a self-acclaimed godman. What does that mean? Does he have healing powers?
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not a self-styled godman. He was born in the family where the Supreme Pontiffs of Tandai Mandala Adinam are chosen. He was identified as an incarnation by traditional Hindu masters and authorities as per Hinduism, just like how the Dalai Lama is recognized in Buddhism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's family has a long-standing history of involvement with the administration of the Tiruvannamalai Temple and Tandai Mandalam Adinam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's birth family has contributed many administrators and Supreme Pontiffs to Tandai Mandala Adinam in South India. As you can see here in the link posted from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's family tree and records, his family held positions of Supreme Pontiffs or Guru Mahasanidhanams to Tandai Mandala Adinam for over 11 consecutive generations as hereditary lineage. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as an incarnation at the early childhood by his predecessors, initiated at the age of 3, groomed, coronated, and anointed as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and declared as Jagat Guru Mahasanidhanam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as per the customs and traditions of Hinduism, and by spiritual heads of multiple traditional Hindu samsthanas and competent traditional Hindu authorities who have come in established lineages. The foundation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's teachings is rooted in the core ancient scriptures of Hinduism. Please see the YouTube link. The declaration as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was done in an elaborate traditional ceremony with the fire rituals and other Hindu ceremonies over a 3-day period, which was attended by spiritual heads across India, culminating in unanimous declaration of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, recognizing him as the living incarnation of Paramashiva, the primordial divinity as per Hinduism.
What does the United States of Kailasa stand for? Is it for Hindus? If that be the case, countries like India have a much larger population of Hindus, right? So what does the United States of Kailasa aim to achieve?
Kailasa is the revival of the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation operating through multiple NGOs. It was established much in the spirit of a country like the Sovereign Order of Malta, a borderless service-oriented nation. In many countries across the world, people inspired by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism have started organizations to share his teachings. Its vision is living enlightenment for all, leading to global peace, irrespective of any external differences including gender, race, nationality, color, caste, creed, etc. It is established on the principle of oneness or Advaita in Sanskrit. Please do visit kailasa.org for further information.
Does the United States of Kailasa propagate total vegetarianism?
Kailasa stands for non-violence. Killing animals for food or any other purpose is not morally right, as per Hindu principles, which are followed by Kailasa. Kailasa, through its international humanitarian agency, Red Om, has served millions of free organic vegetarian sattvic meals through its 16,000 outlets around the globe for over 30 years and strives to educate and inspire humanity to adopt a sattvic vegetarian-based lifestyle to attain the true purpose of human life, living enlightenment through well laid out scientific and Vedagamic truths. We invite you to see many contributions of Kailasa on zero hunger, vegetarianism, organic agriculture in the link posted.
Is the United States of Kailasa a nation or a commune like the one Bhagwan Raji's had set up in the United States? The United States of Kailasa says it is a nation with borders created by dispossessed Hindus who lost the right to practice Hinduism authentically in their own countries. Kindly explain.
We are a revival of the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation and operate through a group of NGOs operating from multiple countries across the globe. It was established, again, much in the spirit of a country like the Sovereign Order of Malta, a borderless service-oriented nation. Please do visit our website at kailasa.org for further information.
What was the rationale behind sending a team from the United States of Kailasa to the United Nations in Geneva? Was the delegation meant to speak at the United Nations, or was it a stunt?
On February 22nd of this year, at the 84th session of the Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, OCIDAW, and on February 24th at the discussion regarding the General Comment on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights and Sustainable Development at the United Nations in Geneva, a delegation of women from the United States of Kailasa presented a comprehensive report shedding light on the centuries of ethnocide of Hindu women, cultural genocide of female monastic orders, and disempowerment of women via false representation of Hinduism. We took this opportunity to be the voice for Hindu persecution, and we touched briefly on the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in Kailasa. Please see the link for the report.
How will the United States of Kailasa handle global warming?
The first and foremost goal of the International Humanitarian Agency, Green Home, is a healthy, life-enhancing environment with efficient ecological preservation and biodiversity conservation. Hindus worship trees and animals, and they are all part of our ecosystem. Kailasa's principle of non-violence, ahimsa, and vegetarianism and reforestation are the two rudimentary solutions for humanity. Kailasa's mega flagship project, Ishanya, launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is another massive global humanitarian project to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases. Repair, reuse, and recycle have always been the functional principle of Kailasa for the last 27 years, and Ishanya is a consolidated effort to unite the world and work together for a better world. Buying fewer new things will reduce carbon emissions and cut down on waste. We invite you to see Kailasa's contributions in combating global warming in the link provided.
So would it be fair to call the United States of Kailasa a fictional country?
We are a revival of the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation operating through a group of NGOs from multiple countries across the world. It was established much in the spirit of a country like the Sovereign Order of Malta, a borderless service-oriented nation. Please do visit once again our website at kailasa.org for further information. Thank you so much for your inquiries. Please do reach out if you have further questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.